Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, it's so good to be with y'all again tonight.
Amen. I woke up today.
We got so much to talk about, so much to say. How was your day? Let's
I
start.
had a great day today.
You did, well, that's a good thing.
I was on the phone all day with insurance companies and mortgage companies and restoration companies. And
So you were adulting.
I was adulting today, but it was a good day.
All right, we'll take it. I'll take it. I will take it all day long, every day. Hallelujah, we have the ability to adult.
Yes.
You know, what would happen if we didn't have the ability to adult?
We would be children.
Well, I am, I labeled this. Uh, do we think the great creator made a mistake when you were born? Do you believe that the great creator made a mistake when you were born? If you were born a man, or you were born a woman, or you were born a dog or a cat, or
Here's my take on it. I've been thinking about this today.
but I want to say something real quick before we go here, because I want to say no matter who you believe in, the great creator, I happen to believe in God, but some people may believe in Apollo or Venus or Aphrodite or whoever it may be that you believe in. Do you believe
That
because
you're God.
that you were a mistake when you were born? Because they're the ones that create it, right? So do you believe it was a mistake? Go ahead.
I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my take on it. I don't believe there are mistakes. I believe that because in Corinthians it says that God wants you back as a man or as a woman, whatever He created you as. That's what He wants you back as. Okay, so with that being said, I believe that somewhere of you being conceived, that God say, okay, God made me a woman, so He wanted me to be a woman. But if I wanted to be a man, I believe somewhere in the science of my parents' mixture of DNA, it got screwed up
And you were trapped.
and I was trapped. That's what I believe. I don't
All right.
believe he makes mistakes. I believe God wanted me to be a woman, but I believe the science took over and screwed up.
All right. I
That's
can
my
go.
belief.
I
That's
can
my
go.
belief. With my God, that's my belief.
You know what? And I agree with you. There's a lot of people out there that believe they are the opposite gender or whatever, trapped in whatever body. But
Or some of them just want to be cool.
or yeah, because now it's kind of a fashion trend.
Yeah.
But let's go here. Let's talk about this for just a second. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna really throw you for a loop right now. But when I went to the mailbox today and I got my mail,
Mm-hmm.
and I saw the mail that was in it,
Mm-hmm.
and I saw my property taxes,
Oh my.
I can understand why somebody would want to be a dog or a cat. Think about that for just a second. Because you know what? Dogs or cats do not pay taxes.
Right.
So, I mean, there's a plus to everything, right?
Well, can you write a letter on your taxes and put them and say, I identify as a dog, I can't pay this?
Well, but then they'd say, well, ma'am, a dog doesn't own a house.
Hmm.
Well, I know he don't, but you know what?
That's when I was a human. Now I'm a dog.
Okay, well, you know what? I'm actually what I could do is I could say I identify as an extremely rich, high class Asian woman.
There you go.
And that's what I identify as.
There you go.
But they'll say, send me a check anyway. We don't care. We don't care.
Didn't you watch the movie Crazy Rich Crazy Asians? We crazy.
Well,
Hmm.
a lot of things that came to my mind today, and I was thinking we could learn from a lot of different things in life that we take advantage of. And I'm going to tell you one thing we could learn from immediately. And it came to me. Well, should I say it knocked me down like a sledgehammer? The special needs children, they love everybody. They do. They love everybody. And they're happy and they don't care. And they don't have any boundaries around them. They don't care whether you're a dog or a cat or a male or a female or whatever. They're just so happy. They're just so happy. They're just so happy. And the only time they really complain and get a little angry is if they're wet or they're tired, like anybody else. But and today when I was writing this, I thought, does God make a mistake? Well, what about the special needs children? Did God make a mistake with them? No, I don't think so. I think that God gives special needs children to people who need the reinforcement of that kind of love. Does that make sense? I think that God puts people in our life to teach us things.
God only gives you what he knows you can handle.
Uh-huh.
And even though you think it may be overbearing, because we've all been there. We've all been there, thinking that you are, you gave me a mountain this time.
Right.
And we've all been there.
Right.
But we got over it.
But I'm going to tell you, I think God only gives special needs children to those who are special. He does. And he does for a reason. He does for a reason. There's a reason for everything. Yeah. And we have to sit back and take a look at everything that's going on around us and embrace the beauty of whatever it is that we got.
And please don't ever feel you're being punished if you have a special needs child.
Absolutely
it's not a punishment.
Absolutely not. It's not.
I've heard that before. What did I do to deserve this?
No.
It's not a punishment.
It is not a punishment. In fact, I think that God gives special needs children to those that are special themselves.
Exactly.
And I've always felt that way. But I think that we need to learn how to embrace the beauty of whatever it is that we have and that we are. It's like be the best woman that you can be, or be the best man that you can be.
Absolutely.
Or be the best dog that you can be. Although I'm still having a little problem with that, other than they don't pay taxes.
I really would like to identify as a dolphin. But
you know what? That's a good one too, because they're the most sexual animal in the world. Did you know that?
Right. But then there's not a whole lot of human contact, and I don't know if I could not do that. I don't know.
Well, you know what? They would have human contact. They love to play, and they would have human contact. The only problem is they drowned you.
Well,
they don't need you.
You got to be kept. You got to be kept in this little tiny. You can't be in the open ocean. Mm-hmm. I did have contact with a dolphin in the open ocean. It was the best moment of my life. It was the best moment of my life to be out in their environment. And my son and I fell off of our jet ski. Long story. We fell off of our jet ski. And they came over and they surrounded us. And at first it was a shark because we saw the fin. And I'm like, oh my God. And my son's trying to shove me back up on the jet ski. And we were laughing too hard. Even though we thought a shark was coming at us, we were laughing. And then we found out it was
two dolphins. Well, they love to play.
Little noses up. So then we just, kind of took and they stayed with us, and they were playing. We would flip water at them, and they'd flip water back at us.
They love to play. They love to play. But the most fascinating thing about dolphins is they are the most sexual.
Well, that sounded like a dolphin. You got a dolphin?
No, it's my phone saying, hello, I want to talk to you. And I'm going to say, nope, goodbye. Not now. Not now. Not now. I'm busy. Dolphins
It
are
squeaks like a
nice.
dolphin.
Elephants are nice. Giraffes are nice. They're a little intimidating. All animals are nice. But
I
do I
love
want
giraffes
to be
too.
one? Do I want to be one?
I
No,
would like to be a giraffe only because they're tall and thin.
and they got a very long neck.
But that's the tall part and thin part.
Okay. And they have very long, thin legs. You know, I don't know. I'll be happy with what I am and what God created me. But if I were to be an animal, I mean, there's so many of them out there that I love all animals. I don't know if there's really one in particular that I'd like to be.
I like koala bears too.
Sure.
But they have a nasty side too.
Oh, they can be mean. But here's the thing still, even if I say I'm going to be, okay, here's a joke for y'all. I put on an outfit tonight and I looked at myself in the mirror and I thought I looked just like a polar bear. It was white and it was fluffy and it was huge and it was everywhere. And I thought I looked just like a polar bear.
Nuh-uh.
And no, I'm telling you, you'll see it one of these days because I'll show you. And I thought, you know what? I look like a polar bear. And I thought, I don't want to look like a polar bear. Not tonight. Maybe tomorrow, but not tonight. So I had to change my clothes.
Is it cold enough there to be a polar bear?
No, that's the other part. I thought I'd melt. Actually, I would have identified as butter. Because I would have been sitting here in a pool of sweat. I don't know. I don't think God makes mistakes, and I don't think that there's anybody out there that God made mistakes. And I'm going to say to you, this is my feeling on the whole matter. If you're gay and you like another man, well, more power to you. Love is love. Hey, Royal Apple. Love is love.
Hey, Royal Apple.
If you're a woman and you love another woman, well, you know what? So be it. But I don't think that I agree with gender changing yourself because then I feel like you're playing God. And that's where you draw the line. We
discussed this also is why would a man date a man that dresses like a woman?
Okay, well, I would like to know that answer. That is the question of a lifetime. Now, somebody can tell me that one because that's a question of a lifetime. If you're gay and you're attracted to a male, then why do you want to go with another male that dresses like a female? You're attracted to the one that is dressed like a female. So are you not attracted to a female?
No, I told you my take on it. My take is that they want to be with the man, but they're embarrassed, so they pick somebody that's like a drag queen. Oh, hi, him.
Hi, him. How are you? I think that, I don't know. Why would you be a woman? Why would you be a woman and want to be with another woman that looks like a man?
It baffles our minds because we don't understand it.
No, we can't wrap our brain around it because you know what? We don't think like that.
Right.
And you know what? Thank you. I'm glad I look like a science teacher because you know what? Maybe I am. You don't know, do you? The question is, did God make a mistake when he made you him? Just asking. It's a different situation.
Right.
Life is a different situation.
Right. But it does say in the Bible And now in Corinthians, that is in the New Testament. So anything before the New Testament is when Jesus died on the cross for our sins in the books and all of that. He didn't die on the cross for this, because it says right in Corinthians that if you're a swindler, if you're homosexual, if you're a cheater, and what were the couple of the other things that we talked about, Connie?
If you're a thief and a murderer, and all that stuff,
you will not know. God will not know you,
right, unless you have asked for forgiveness. Right. That's the thing right there. You know, anybody's forgiven. Anyone can be forgiven. Anyone can be forgiven, because that's what Jesus died on the cross for our sins.
But you have to believe and walk with him.
Yes.
The rest of the time that you are forgiven.
Absolutely.
That reminds me of that new song by Jelly Roll, I Need a Favor. And it's like, who the hell am I to ask for a favor when I only talk to God when I need a favor?
Exactly. Amen. That is the truth. Right there.
Who the hell am I to expect to say?
You know what, Linda? There's no such thing as an atheist in a foxhole. When there's bombs going to the left of you and bombs going to the right of you, and everything's blowing up around you, who's the first person you call for?
It's not praying to God.
I'm telling you, it's not Ghostbusters. You're asking for God to come and help you out. Please, dear God. Please, dear God, I will pray to you, and I will live my life good if you just
let me
live. Just let me live. So there you go.
Obviously, he knows the ones that are going to carry out on that, because there are people that don't come home from those foxholes.
This is true.
I'm just saying.
This is true. And you know what? That means that God had reason. I think God has purpose for everything. That
He needed you home.
He needed you home, or it was your time, and there was a learning experience at that point.
Or the devil wanted you back.
Well, I don't know. I know some people out there that the devil don't want to give up his seat because. I'm just saying.
I know what you're saying.
There's some people out there that are so evil that the devil don't want to give up his seat to give it to him.
I know a couple of people like that.
Well, I know one.
It's sad to say, but it is what it is.
You know what I find in our humanity right now is, I started off the way I did for a reason, because we are so judgmental as society. We're so judgmental. We'll look over and we'll say, you know what? That girl right there dresses in her pajamas coming to Walmart, and is she stupid or what? Because she's got her pajamas on. And you know what? I think she's disgusting. And I think that how do you know what happened to her that day? How do you know that she didn't have to run to Walmart, that one of her family members was extremely sick and she didn't have time to get dressed? I'm just saying, I've never seen such judgment going on. And it says in the Bible, as you judge, so will you be judged. So, better stop and think a little bit about how harsh you judge somebody, because you know what? The Lord's going to bring the hammer down.
Absolutely.
I don't have time to talk to you right now. So, I mean, this is my thing. Yes, there's a lot of different people out there, and there's a lot, but I was thinking, when we're little kids and we're growing up and we want to be a dog or a cat or an elephant or whatever,
right? Because
you know what? Because that is a pretend world. Okay, that's a pretend world. Right. Some of the kids these days, never had a chance to pretend. They don't know what pretending is. We didn't have the ability to have everything given to us in a virtual reality world. We
Right.
had to pretend that things were going on when we were playing things.
Right.
But somehow that pretending has kind of overflowed into reality here.
Yeah,
If you follow me here.
I agree.
Because you know what? They didn't get a chance to pretend.
No, I
So
agree.
now I'm going to pretend I am a bird.
I mean,
Society's going to accept me because that's what I want to be.
I mean, and I'm sure we've all seen those jokes on the t-shirts and stuff. It's like, do I really have to adult today or not today, Satan? Or, we've all seen them. But we all know in reality, it's like, do I really have to adult today? I don't want to adult.
How many times
Tiring.
Okay,
It's
how many times have you looked in your checkbook and you thought to yourself, are you kidding me? I got to pay these bills and this is how much money I have and I don't want to do it today?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We're all guilty.
It's not even so much
Every
as I
one of
don't
us
want
is
to.
guilty.
It's not
Every
even,
one of us is guilty of wanting to pretend it will all go away. Let's live in a fantasy world and I don't have to pay taxes.
right.
Because today I got my property taxes and almost fell over on the curb. And
Wasn't it nice when you were younger? You had money to go and do what you wanted to do. You had somebody to drive you around. You didn't have to fight with traffic. You just sat in the back seat and laughed with your girlfriends.
Right.
Or sat in the back seat and laughed with your boyfriend, whatever.
Right.
Isn't it wasn't it great? Wasn't it great that you could walk in the front door and there'd be a meal waiting for you?
Yeah, you didn't have to worry about cooking. Didn't have to worry about cooking. You didn't have to worry about laundry. All you had to worry about is your schoolwork. And sometimes you did it and sometimes you didn't, and you got away with it.
And every single adult has been there that said, I can't wait to be an adult. I can't wait to be an adult. Every single adult has thought that at least once in their life. And now that they're here, and it's not even the 18, 21 adult. When you get to the 40-year or 50-year adult, then you're like, what was I thinking? What was I thinking?
You know what? This is man's mentality. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. When you're in your 20s, you kind of skate through life because you're still having fun. And you figure if you make a mistake, oh, well, because you know what? I'm just in my 20s, whatever.
And you mostly still live at home and you work or go to school, or you work and you go to school, but your money is still your money. You don't still have to pay bills yet.
Well, and the thing was, in your 20s, you go, well, you know what? I don't have to pay any bills if you live at home with your parents till, and if you don't, because some people don't, you're still skating through. You're still skating through in your 20s thinking, you know what? I'm really not quite an adult yet. I'm really not held responsible yet. And then your 30s hit. And it's like somebody slapped you in the face and said, you know what? Now you're responsible, or at least that's the way I felt. When I hit my 30s, I thought, oh no, now I'm responsible for everything I do. I'm going to be held responsible because I'm 30. I'm in my 30s. And I made more mistakes in my 30s than I did in my 20s. I'm telling you right now, I did. Just because I had that mentality. Then when I got into my 40s, I thought, you know what? If I haven't learned anything yet, I'm not going to. So the heck with it. Well, my 40s were pretty easy. Then in my 50s, I started thinking, oh my God, now it's time for me to start thinking about what am I going to retire with? What am I going to live on after when I quit my job? What am I going to? Well, I should have been thinking about that in my 20s, but I wasn't. And I wasn't thinking about that in my 30s. But when 50s come knocking, you start thinking about things a little bit different. And then, boy, if you ain't figured it out, the 60s hits you.
Well, see, and you were lucky enough and fortunate enough to start realizing adulting at 30, whereas I was 18 when I had my first baby.
So you had to grow up fast.
I had to adult real quick because I
You
had
had to
another
adult
human
real
being
quick.
depending on me. I had a
See,
human being that was going to walk in the door one day and be like, dinner on the table. I'm hungry.
see, I didn't have my first one until I was 24, almost
That's
25.
when I had my
I
second
was
one.
almost 25. In fact, I was 25 the next month.
I had my second one when I was turning 24.
Well, I had my second one when I was 27, almost 28. So there's really not a timeline on adulting, but I think sometimes that in this generation, they didn't get to pretend. I mean, I was thinking about it today. I thought, you know what? They didn't get enough time to pretend when they were growing up. Everything was given to them. It was all on the TV. It was on a video game, or now they've got virtual reality. It's all right there. It's all given to them. They didn't have to pretend that, guess what? This is a cup. In my hand, I'm holding the cup.
Mhm.
They don't even have the ability to pretend. And it's actually kind of sad.
You know what? If you think about it, we were a
Yes,
lucky
thank God
generation.
for the little ones, Royal Apple. We learn a lot from the little ones every day.
We were fortunate enough, had I have not got married and had a baby so early in life. But our parents did the same thing. They were in 18, 19, 20 when they got married. So they adulted real quick too. Whereas they gave us the opportunity to slack a little bit and wait until we were in our 20s to start adulting and starting a family. We didn't get married. Well, I did, but a good majority of the people I went to school with did not get married. They went to college and had careers. They didn't get married until they were in their mid to late 20s.
You know what? I sure didn't get married till I was quite a bit older. Life is a lot different.
Mm-hmm. And now
That's
people aren't getting married until their 30s.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, when we were growing up, I don't know how you felt, but when I was growing up, the big thing was to be married. Oh my God, I can't wait.
I
I'm going to
was.
be married. I'm going to have a big wedding. I'm going to be married. I'm going to be a wife. I'm going to be a mother. This was the big dream in life.
Mm-hmm.
And then what?
Right.
Being married late in life is a lot better because I think you go into it more mature and have a better look out on life and know how to compromise better than you do when you're younger. Because I don't think there's no compromising when you're younger. Don't you remember? I mean, I've been married longer than, well, I got married when Moses brought down the 10 Commandments. But, you know, and I think back when I did get married, and I think he'd say, "We're going to do this." And I'd say, "Oh, no, we're not. No, we're not. We're not doing that. Who do you think you are talking to me like that? My daddy didn't even talk to me like that. You're not going to tell me what to do." Instead of saying, "Hey, let's sit down and talk about it."
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was just my attitude because I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
We've made it through. Thank God, because
Well,
I've got a husband with a lot of patience.
and you know what? I can tell you this much too. Our parents were taught much different in school. They got those kids ready to adult at 18, 19,
Boy,
20,
I'll tell you
21
what,
years
you
old.
ain't kidding. You ain't kidding. And my mama said, "Go over there and babysit those kids." Do you know I've got friends of mine that babysat real young and they hated kids after that. They never had any kids because they hated kids.
Look, my mom had 3 kids under 3. In 39 months, she had 3 kids.
My God bless her heart. Bless her heart. That's
Mhm.
crazy. My mama had 2 kids. She had a baby and one that was almost 4.
My oldest sister and my second brother, or first brother, are 16 months apart, and then my brothers were 13 months apart.
That's crazy. And you know what? You're right. Bless all the mamas, because the mamas go, do you know, I got to say this, and I'm going to say it out loud. I thought it for years, and I'm going to, being a mama is the most thankless job there is on the planet. And they take
Mhm.
the worst beating. I'm telling you right now.
My mom told me a funny story. Now, she had 3 kids, and she was 21. Okay.
Now,
And
she had them young, didn't she?
she went to the grocery store. My sister was a wedding night baby. And we're just going to leave it at that,
All right.
because that's what was told, is
That's
that
all
she
right.
was a wedding night baby.
That's all
So
right.
anyway, um, she went to the store. My dad smoked. My dad was 7 years older than her to boot, on top of that. And she went to the grocery store, and the lady at the grocery store looked at her, and she's like, she asked for a pack of cigarettes, and she's like, "Aren't you too young to be smoking? And shouldn't you be in school?" And my mom says, "I got 3 babies at home under 3. I got a 3-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a 1-year-old."
Wow. Wow.
Funny story. But my mom's a short little petite woman that she doesn't look her age now. So,
Wow. You know, I guess God puts us in the era that we're in for a reason, because I'm going to be honest with you. I know what my mama went through when she was growing up, and I don't know if I could have made it. I'm going to be honest. I don't know if I could have made it. And she did, and she came out smelling like Rose, one of the most beautiful people you'll ever meet. But you know what? She had it tough. She had it real tough. I wanted to bring up something for everyone to think about for a second, because I read a story and it was kind of interesting, because I was all about animals today, right? And
mhm.
everybody's screaming about rape and all that kind of stuff, and I thought, you know what? There are people out there right now in this generation that are doing things to animals that are not very nice.
No.
And definition
Hi,
of,
Gloria.
hey there, you know, the definition of rape is not saying it's okay, right? When you say no, no is no, and that is it. And if you continue on, then it's the R word. All right, I've already said it, so I guess it don't matter now. But when you take an animal and you decide you're going to make it your partner, that animal has got a very, it has no voice, the silent voice. I read this article, and the reason I'm bringing this up is because I read this article where this guy took a goat and he used it. It was his partner, and in his will, he gave everything to the goat after he died. And I thought, you know, did that goat really want to be your partner? Did that goat have a choice? No, no. And it can't go to the grocery store and spend your money.
Nope.
I'm going to say something. That's a mental illness. Okay? That's a mental illness. I'm sorry. That's the way I feel about it. When you start doing animals, that's a mental illness, and animals don't have a voice. And I think that people that do stuff like that should go down and go to prison, just like the one that takes the girl on the street. It's
Well,
a
I mean,
crime. It's a
we've
crime.
heard stories of people falling in love with a horse, falling in love with a goat. We've
Well,
heard those stories, and
but
these
there's
people
a difference
actually
in falling
believe.
in love with them and having intercourse with them.
Well, I mean, it's the same. You know what I'm saying? They love them, so that's where it leads to. But you believe we've seen and heard the stories of people that truly, honestly believe that they're in love with a horse.
And I
The
think
horse
that they
loves them.
need, and I think they need psychiatric help
Oh, I
because
agree with you.
because I don't think that horse had any intention and even knew what was coming.
No,
And the horse couldn't say anything.
no.
Now, if y'all think
It's
I'm
true.
wrong, go ahead and put in the comments that you think I'm wrong and you think that people should be married to goat or a horse or dog or cat or whatever, and you think that's okay, because I don't think that's okay. You know, I think God made us the top of the food chain for a reason, because he gave us a mind and he gave us the brains and he gave us the brains to know the difference between right and wrong. And if you didn't get the brains to know the difference between right and wrong, then you need to seek a therapist. That's the way I think. Sorry.
Right. And, you know, again, we go back to the question, does the great creator make a mistake?
Right.
There's something wrong with you if you believe God intended for you to be married to a horse. I'm just saying.
I think you need to be psychoevaluated,
Yeah.
because God said he made man and then he made woman as his partner. He did not say, I made man and I made orangutan and to make him your partner. He didn't say that.
No,
He didn't
as
say
far
that.
as I know of, at least in my Bible, it said God created man and made a woman as a partner.
Yeah. It didn't say anything about horse, dog, cat,
No,
gerbil, or any of that.
no,
You know,
no.
okay, y'all, I have to say this because I've laughed about it all day long and it's kind of sick. It's really not funny. It's not funny at all, but if you kind of picture it, it's really kind of off. But and I'm not going to say his name. Look at Linda's already laughing because it's kind of hard to believe. And I'm not going to say his name, but let's say he's a great actor, because I've already burnt somebody with the name and now they don't like him anymore. But he was this great actor was caught in a bathroom having intercourse with a saltwater bass.
Which
Wrap
I
your
don't
head
even know
around
how
that.
that's possible.
You know, I'm speechless.
Maybe that's what the fish was doing.
Well, they said that when he went up there, he was checking the mouth out and making sure the teeth weren't too sharp. But I'm just, I'm just saying, if you're going to go to, if you're going to go, no, God does not make mistakes. We all know God does not make mistakes. He
Right.
does not make mistakes. And when I say, if you think God makes mistakes, you're wrong. This is what I'm saying. You're wrong.
And the other part
And
of
who
that,
are you to play God to change it? You're
right,
not anybody.
right.
Sorry. That's just my own opinion, and I had to get it out because I was gonna choke on it if you didn't notice.
I'm still choking on it, no pun intended.
Because I'm sick. Well, I know I can't get over it either. I can't get over it either. I can't. I hear things and I think, how does that work? How do you do things like that to a fish? I just don't get it. Our society is becoming more and more psychologically unwell. We have more mental illness than you can imagine. I'm just saying, that's the way I look at it.
Well, yeah. I mean,
We need God back. There ain't no doubt in my mind. When we took him out of school, we started everything. We started everything on a downhill slide. Then we wanted to take
when you
him
took
on
them out of the
money.
country,
Guess what? We stopped that. We still got him. Thank you, Jesus. He's still on the money.
when we took them out of the country,
Yeah.
when they stopped letting people put out their Christmas decorations, a lot of them had the nativity that they
No,
used to put out.
they don't They don't say, and when they take, and you know, I'm going to tell you, I have a pet peeve, and I'm going to say it because I'm being very vocal tonight. Christmas is Christmas. It's Christmas. It's not Xmas. How dare you take Christ and put an X in front of it? I'm
It's
sorry.
the reason for the season.
That's right. And it irritates me to no end when I say,
Yeah.
when I see people put Merry Xmas. What? Don't you dare put an X in front of God's name, Christ's name. You want to make me fight and mad? That's what you'll do. And people are right now saying that they won't talk to their mother or their father or their brother or their sister because they voted for Trump. Well, I wonder what they'd say if I said, you know what, if you put an X in front of Christmas, if you put an X for Christ instead of putting Christmas, and you put an X in his name, I'm never going to talk to you again. It's all over. That's the end of that. And you know what? I don't want nothing to do with you ever again. You know what? I don't care what it stands for. Christmas is Christmas.
Exactly.
Christmas. It's Christmas. It's Jesus's birthday, and if you don't, and you know, maybe he wasn't born at that time, but that's when we celebrate it.
Hi, Donna.
If they don't like it, then the hell with them. They're gonna burn in hell for it. That's all.
Yeah.
You know, don't put an X. Don't put an X in the place of my Creator's name. I don't like it. I'm never gonna like it. I'm sorry.
Do you know what I say? I say Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays or whatever you believe in.
Isn't that sad you have to go there? Why can't you just say Merry Christmas and go on?
But I mean, there's Kwanzaa, there's Hanukkah. That's why I say that.
Well, they can do Happy Hanukkah if they live over there, or Buenos Aires, or whatever.
Feliz Navidad.
Feliz Navidad, or whatever. You know, I'm just saying. There's an old saying, it's this: when in Rome, do as the Romans do.
Right.
Okay. When in America, we're a Christian nation, you do as the Christians do. So you say Merry Christmas.
You know what? It just dawned on me. That old saying, when in Rome, do as the Romans. Do you think that's how it all started at Diddy's house? When at Diddy's, do as Diddy does?
Ew.
I'm sorry.
Ew, he's disgusting. Diddy's disgusting. And you know what? He's going to pay in hell for all the nasty things that he's done. He's nasty. Yeah. He's nasty. He makes Epstein look like a kindergartner. Ooh, it's nasty. Yeah, that man needs psychological help.
Exactly, Donna. Keep Christ in Christmas.
Exactly. Amen, Donna. That's the way I look at it.
Exactly.
When you start removing Christ and God and Jesus from our vocabulary, we're going to start seeing a lot of bad things happen.
Yep.
A lot of bad things are going to happen because you know what? Satan is more than happy to take over.
Right.
You know, the great deceiver.
Right. Absolutely.
It's disgusting. But my question of the night, and I want somebody to give me an answer for it. Here's my question of the night. Okay? Here's my question of the night.
Can I answer?
Oh, if you know the answer, please do. Just chime right in.
Okay.
If you were born a man and you want to date another man that's dressed in woman's clothes and wears makeup, do you not really want a woman?
Well, I told you my answer on that. I told you that he really wants to be with a man, but I think he's embarrassed about it. So therefore, it's a cover up to make it look like he's with the woman, but he really wants to be with that man that's under that dress. That's my answer. Does that make sense?
No.
Well, it may not make sense to us, but I think that's what it is. I think that somewhere in his logical mind that he's not using of being a homosexual, that if he thinks if he portrays himself as being with a woman, then nobody's going to look bad on him. And he's not going to look bad on himself for being with a man. So it's the great deception. That's my perception on it. It's the great deception. You're deceiving yourself. You're deceiving other people because if you're embarrassed, then don't do it.
Okay, then so explain this one.
Do they have an explanation, Gloria?
I don't think
anybody.
You know. What about a man that wants to be what about a woman that wants to be a man and dates a man that dresses like a woman? Is that a mental illness? Because in the end of the day, is that not a heterosexual relationship? When the makeup comes off and everything falls to the floor and they're standing there with no clothes on, is that not a heterosexual relationship?
Right.
Back to pretending again.
Right. I don't know. Have you ever seen a couple where the man dresses as a woman and the woman dresses as a man and they go out in public like that? What's the point of that?
Because the woman wants.
Or do they just have a really good sense of humor?
No, they're serious. The woman really wants to be the man, and the guy really wants to be a woman, and they dress like that. I don't know. I don't know how you put your brain around that.
It could be really. Well, that could very well be.
At the end of the day, that's a heterosexual relationship. Any way you look at it, it's like the Japanese. At the Japanese guy. Okay, we're going to go here. This is even better. In fact, I think I showed you a picture. His name is Taco. Let me see. I'll get it. Well, you go ahead and talk, and I'll get him up here because I'm gonna show this. I gotta show this.
That could very well be Royal Apple. It could be. The devil does that to mock God's couples. It's very possible. It's because the devil has his hand in it some way, shape, or form. Because it's not normal, And then people are like, well, what's normal? Well, that is a good question. What is normal?
Well, see, that's the thing.
Normal is what you've been taught all your life. Man is man, woman is woman. That's normal.
Okay, I want to show you something here, guys. This is Taco, and he's a Japanese man, and he always wanted to be a collie. Okay, this is him. This is no joke. I remember. And he's very expensive, and he's a very wealthy man. He's a billionaire. Okay. And he paid $15,000 for this costume of being a collie.
Go to the third picture, if you can, where he's on the floor by the white cabinet.
Okay.
So they could get a better picture of the costume. Yeah, there.
Okay.
Now there you can tell it's a costume.
Okay. But he paid $15,000 for this costume. All right. Now I want you to think about this for a second. At the end of the day, when he takes off this costume, he's still a man, right? At the end of the day, he's still a man. He's not a collie. He's still a man. That's what I'm trying to.
Which he would be a male dog. So you're still a male, even though you identify as a dog.
And you're still a human. At the end of the day, you take your costume off. You're still a male, and you're still human. You can pay $100,000 for right. It's exactly what it is. but you're still a man in a dog costume. You dress up in drag and you look like a woman. You're still a man in a woman's costume.
Absolutely.
Unless you have surgery.
Still, man.
But you're still a man.
Because you will never, ever have a child.
No. God made women to have children. God, you change yourself to a woman and you're a man, you're not going to menstruate. Okay, let's get that straight. The eggs aren't coming. The eggs aren't coming.
Thank you. I couldn't think of the proper term. That's why I said what I said, because I couldn't think of menstruate.
Yep, the eggs aren't coming. So at the end of the day, you're still a man that has tried to change tried to play God and change it. You know what happened when the last time humans tried to play God? They tried to build their self tower to get to heaven, and guess what happened? They weren't able to talk to each other anymore.
Everybody got a different language and different colors.
That's right, because you know what? He's not going to be mocked. God's not going to be mocked.
Nope.
So, I mean, that was kind of my my ranting and raving tonight. Thank you so much for getting through it with me, because I was still trying to figure out why I would want to be a Doberman pincher until I went to the post office box and found that my property taxes went up $1,500, and I thought, I figured it out. Thank you, God, for telling me. I've been asking all day. Now you told me they don't have to pay taxes.
They don't have to work. They don't have to do anything. But do you remember back a few years ago when they started having those parties with people dressed as animals and stuff? I think that's where this whole,
The furry people.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you remember that?
I knew somebody that was one. It wasn't a friend of mine, but I knew somebody that, yeah.
It's like, can you say cuckoo?
You know, I'm kind of glad I don't have a tail. I'm just saying. I mean, I would think it would get in the way of everything, but I kind of like being. God made me a female, and I want to be the best female I can be. Because you know what? That's what I was meant to be.
The only time I wanted to be, I thought about I wanted to be a boy is when I tried out for baseball and I didn't make the team. I wanted to be a boy so I could be better to make the team. But that lived for about a half second. Then I tried out for the cheerleaders.
You know what? I never wanted to be a cheerleader, but I always wanted to be a basketball player. But I tell you what, y'all, now this ain't no joke. I'll tell you a little bit about trying to be a man. I grew up on a ranch, and I broke horses for a living, all right? Well, I broke a lot of horses growing up. And I rode saddle bronc for 2 years. And they cattle prod those horses when they come out, and they're bucking all the heck. And you're out there riding them because you're stupid. You're stupid. I'm telling you, you're stupid. And I was thrown more times than I can count. And all the men, when I went walking in, were in shock that I was a female doing something like that. And now that I'm my age, I'm in shock. I was stupid enough to do that, and anyone else is stupid enough to do it.
Donna, yes, I have always been comfortable in my skin also.
Me too.
Because let me tell you, I went to Catholic school for 8 years, and I remember getting in trouble from the nuns in 4th grade because I was too flirty with the boys. I didn't even know what flirty was. But I got in trouble for being too much of a flirt.
You know,
so I've been comfortable in my own skin. I've never really wanted to be a boy. I just wanted to be better at baseball.
Now we can take this down a tier. We can take this down a little bit, a tier. There's not one person in here with me right now that can't look at me and say, you know what? I've looked at myself in the mirror and said, I wish I had blonde hair, or I wish I had black hair,
I
or
wish
I
I
wish
had
I
blue.
had blue eyes, or I wish. But you know what?
That's why they make colored contacts and wigs.
You can't see a blasted thing out of the
Just
color
saying.
contacts. I'm just saying. But you know what? I'm just saying.
Right.
There's something that you're not really perfectly that you wish you could change, but you can't.
I wish I could have been, like 3 inches taller. I would have loved to have been at least like 5'5".
Sure. Or I wish that I know people that would say they wish their hips weren't so big, or
Right.
they wish their hips were bigger, or they wish they had a smaller waist, or they wish, or they wish, or they wish. But you know what? All they're trying to do is perfect. Back to what I was saying, perfect the perfection,
Right.
or in their eyes, perfect the perfection. When
Right.
they fail to understand the perfection has already happened.
And oh, Gloria, about that child in California that acts like a cat, did you know that there's also a litter box in the school for that person, that child? Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And I think I would be totally traumatized if I went in and I saw a child go in the bathroom in a litter box. I'm sorry. I don't think I could handle it.
I'm still trying to figure out how they do it, but
You know what? I couldn't handle it. Oh yeah, they were my boss. And when I thought I smiled too much, had to wait 5 years to teach eighth grade nuns rules. Isn't the eighth grade when you're trying to figure out who you are in the beginning anyway? You're like still trying to figure out who you are. Yeah, no, I don't want a litter box. I don't want to go in a litter box. God made us who we are in human because he wanted us to have some decency and gave us the brain to be a little bit above everybody else.
I enjoy walking around without a leash around my neck. I'm just saying.
Can you imagine the nuns when we were growing up
Oh
tolerating
my God. Could you
their
imagine the nuns nowadays?
uh,
Oh, wait.
oh well, they're not doing with the litter box. I'll guarantee you right now, still they're not.
There's still some nuns at a Catholic school over here by us, and they have a fish fry every Easter. And you know what? I think I'm going to ask one of them what they would do if a kid came into school and identified as a cat.
They'd
What's
say it wouldn't be tolerated,
what's
period.
their
So
thoughts
that's
on
not
that?
happening. They'd probably take him to the guidance counselor and tell them they need to be psychologically evaluated. So I know the nuns. I didn't grow up in a parochial school, so I don't know much, but I know that a bunch of my friends did, and they said those nuns could be like Clint Eastwood with a gun. They could be with a ruler. I
Oh,
heard that.
my dad got kicked out of Catholic school for punching a nun in the face. That's a long story, but the nun took a ruler and cracked his knuckles and busted his knuckles open.
Oh my God! See, I can't even imagine that.
Yeah. Was he right? No, he wasn't. I'm not
No,
justifying what he did, but it wasn't just he just didn't get mad and punch her in the face. It was he did get mad, but
and he did punch her in the face.
and he did punch her in the face, but it was because she busted his knuckles open with a ruler.
Well, my daddy, his mother couldn't raise
Yeah.
him because she was a single mother, and my daddy's dad was an alcoholic, and he was always on the street. And he could dance like nobody's business, but he only danced long enough to get a drink. And so my grandma left him, and my daddy in Washington D.C. or Washington, it was D.C. He was too young to take care of his brothers, so they had to go into a home. And my daddy said he was playing football, and he said, and he called her old lady love. Anyway, he said, I couldn't catch him. The guy was too fast. I couldn't catch him. I couldn't catch him. I couldn't catch him. And he said, and when I finally caught him, I broke the kid's collarbone because I was so mad when I caught him. And I thought, oh my God, my dad looked just like Clint Eastwood. I'm telling you what he did. He did. He looked just like Clint Eastwood. And I was like, holy buckets. I'd bring guys home and they would honk the horn outside because they didn't want to come in because they were afraid of my dad.
Yeah.
True story. True
You
story.
know what? Did you go outside when they honk the horn?
No, because I would have gotten in big trouble.
Exactly.
My daddy would have said, look, you're not running out there to no horn honking. You better just wait right here. He's coming to the door.
My
And if he
dad
can't
said,
come to the door, forget it.
door, if they can't come to the door, they don't need to be with my daughter.
Yep. And let me tell you what, one time I was outside and we were talking. We were just talking, y'all, really seriously. We were just talking, and my daddy started turning on and off the light. And I thought, well, I wonder what's wrong with the light. I wonder what's wrong with the light. Keeps going on and off. Must have a short or something. And then it kept going on and off, on and off. And I thought, boy, I tell you what, I'm going to have to tell my daddy about that light because it just keeps going. And it wasn't, I'm going to tell you what, it wasn't 5 minutes until I heard this banging on the window. And he said, did you not see that light going on and off? That means you're supposed to be inside. You get your tail inside. Boy, I ran like nobody's business, just like my tail was on fire. Sorry, I thought it had a short. Yeah, you did.
It's that time, Connie.
It's that time, y'all. It's been an hour, and I love spending an hour with y'all. It's always my favorite time. Mondays and Tuesdays are always my favorite time. So I guess saying prayers to y'all. I hope you have a blessed rest of your week.
Have a great weekend. Stay safe.
Stay safe, and just pray for those people that are falling down on the floor and acting stupid. Okay?
Right. We love you guys too.
Just say a prayer for them because they just ain't right. It's just not right. They just ain't right.
And that's all you can do is pray for them.
That's, you know what? It's the best medicine in the world. Just say a prayer. Just say a prayer.
All we can do.
All right. Love y'all. We'll see y'all Monday.
Bye.